Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans. It's time for the Week 10 Pick Show. I'm your host, Jim Sella, with J-Dash and the return of JK47. 47 hasn't been on the show in a minute. How you doing today?
Breathing a sigh of relief, Jim. Life's good, though. Got a new house, new president.
Believe it.
Moving on up.
The more we talk about Trump, we're going to be losing Clinton supporters left and right.
I don't think a Clinton supporter would ever listen to us anyway. Do they even like sports? They don't like winning or losing. They just want to cry and everybody gets a participation trophy. So
well, there goes a couple subscribers.
They don't like guns either, so, I mean...
Pansies.
Believe it.
All right, let's get started with this week, though. What week is it? Week 10.
Week 10.
Yes. I actually have week 8 written here for some reason.
That's because you don't know how to count. You went to York.
Please believe it.
Which game we got first?
All right, we're going to go with Easy's game because he's still on a roll. He went 2-3-1 last week, 1-3-1 in the NFL. He won his college pop again, which was North Carolina. But he's 5-3 in his picks of the week this season. He's 5-0 in his last 5 picks of the week, 10-4 in his last 14 picks of the week, which dates back to last season. He's 19-9-2 in his last 30 NFL picks as well. So he's picking real well right now. He's 22-16-2 on the season. And he's going to go with Houston at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the underdog in this game at +1.5 at home. And the over-under is 42.5.
I like the Houston pick. Listen to these stats. And they're from a week or two ago, so they've changed slightly. But a lot of people say that Blake Bortles is a franchise quarterback. I don't know if I agree with that quite yet in his career.
Well, I would have said yes at the beginning of the season, man. But like Eddie B said at the beginning of the season, he wasn't too high on him, and it looks like he was right, man. He took a big step back.
Listen to these stats. In his career, I'm going to break it down quarter by quarter, yards and touchdowns. In the first quarter in his career, he's thrown for 1,598 yards, 4 touchdowns. In the second quarter, 2,356 yards, 15 touchdowns.
Ball.
In the third quarter, 1,900 yards, 13 touchdowns. But then in the fourth quarter, he balls 3,364 yards and 26 touchdowns. Now, a lot of people are going to say, okay, well, he's good in the fourth quarter. That's the mark of a franchise quarterback. Yes, it is. But you can't be garbage in the first quarter all the time. The point of being good in the fourth quarter is every once in a while you make that comeback when the team really needs it. You can't continuously suck in the first and second quarters of a football game and be considered a franchise quarterback.
That, and I mean, they're playing from behind a lot. That's why his stats go up throughout the game.
The exact point I was going to make.
But you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. We know their defense isn't very good. Blake Bortles hasn't been what people hope this season, obviously. Julius Thomas is a bum at tight end. He pretty much does nothing out there.
Peyton Manning made him that season. Huh?
I love Allen Robinson. He's one of my favorite players, but he's not even having a great season, and that has to do with Bortles a little bit as well. But their backfield, Ivory and Yeldon, really haven't got it done this season. There's nothing I really...
Yeldon's garbage, man. He was a second-round draft pick, and he let Chris Ivory take his job.
Yeah, and I mean... There's nothing I like about Jacksonville, but you look at Houston, the reason this line's so small still is because Houston's 0-3 on the road. They're 5-0 at home, but again, they're 0-3 on the road. However, at the Patriots, they got blown out 27-0. At the Vikings, that's when the Vikings were still undefeated, I believe. They lost that game 31-13. And at the Broncos, they lost 27-9. So they played some of the hardest competition in the NFL on the road so far. Now they're going on the road and playing one of the worst teams in football, in my opinion. So I think Houston comes out with the win in this game.
Completely agree with you, Dash. Jacksonville, I thought before the year started, they were going to take a step up and could reach for that number 6 seed in the AFC for the playoffs, or at least battle for it and possibly even battle for the division if Indy didn't take a step forward like they haven't. But Jacksonville really kind of looks like they might have taken a step back, and I don't really expect to see Gus Bradley down there after the season because we all know they're not going to finish above 500.
So Easy's pick is Houston for his pick of the week. I'm going to agree with him. Jim, you're agreeing with him. Johnny Parlay saying Jacksonville, and JK47, your first pick of the season. You're disagreeing with us. You're saying Jacksonville. You still feeling Blake Bortles, man. You love him.
I don't know if I'm necessarily feeling him. I mean, I do think our offense is going to be good once it starts clicking. You know, you got to look at Brock Osweiler. You know, he had a nice start off to the season, but I'll tell you what, as of late, he's been horrendous.
Yeah, he hasn't been very good. Actually, last week was his second best week of the season, but it was still a bad week for him.
You know, and you look at it this way. I mean, Houston, to me, right now, has a lack of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I love Will Fuller, actually.
I like DeAndre Hopkins.
I do. Oh, I do too. I mean, that's the obvious thing. But I mean,
there's another guy out there that people really don't know much about too. It's a tight end, and ever since their head coach is Bill O'Brien, correct?
Absolutely.
He's making the play calling now. He took over the play calling in like week 3 or week 4 or something. And he wanted to get this tight end, C.J. Fedorovich, involved, and he has been involved a lot, and he looks like Brock Osweiler's favorite target at this point. He's doing it big over the past month.
Well, when
you know who I like on Houston is Jadeveon Clowney is really coming to his own this year after being able to stay healthy, and J.J. Watt being out for the rest of the season. It was nice for that Houston defense for Clowney to really step up.
Oh, I definitely agree. It is nice to see him finally play some good football. I mean, especially with Watt being out. I mean, that's huge for this defense.
So is Jacksonville going to win the game?
I think Jacksonville will win. I think Osweiler's going to – I think he'll play okay. I just don't think he'll play good enough. You know, I mean, I'm looking for this Jacksonville offense to step it up at home. You know, they're going to want to win against the division rival.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
and that's a terrible division. So, I mean, everything is still open.
I mean, it's going to be a good game, I think. But, I mean, Jacksonville, I just think, has the edge. They're at home. I'll take them.
All right, let's move on to my pick of the week. I'm 105, 96, and 4 all time. I'm 21, 17, and 2 on the season. I'm 3, 4, and 1 in picks of the week this season, but I am 3, 2, and 1 in my last 5 picks of the week. I pushed last week with Carolina. They had it the whole time, and in the end, the Rams scored to come within 3. I'm going to go with Green Bay at Tennessee. Tennessee's plus 2.5 in this game. Again, a home underdog. The over-under is 49.5. I'm going to say Green Bay in this game. I think they're going to come out and win this game. I'm still not sold on Tennessee. I do like DeMarco Murray out there. He's having a good season in the backfield. Mariota looks like a pretty good quarterback too. But
he's hurt.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about him missing the game or anything. But Green Bay is only 1-3 in their last 4 games. However, they lost to the Cowboys, the Falcons, but they lost to the Colts at home last week was pretty much a surprise for me. But I think they have a bounce back because of that loss, that home loss versus Indy, who looks like a bad team and I can't stand because every time I pick them, I lose. But I think Green Bay's going to bounce back this week. And Tennessee, I mean, they've been playing well, but they did go out and lose last week into San Diego. Their defense let up 43 points in that game.
Green Bay is a hard team to figure out this year. Are they good? Are they not good? Is Aaron Rodgers elite? Is he not? I mean, what's going on with that guy? His play has dropped drastically over the last year and a half. You never really know what you're going to get out of him. At 2.5, I'm still taking the Packers. Tennessee's been struggling. It says here in this report, Mariota's dealing with an ankle injury, but he's expected to play. He hurt the ankle in the loss to the Chargers. He's going to be wearing different shoes and possibly a brace on the ankle. Now, that'll limit his mobility a little bit. And Tennessee hasn't played as well at home as they've played on the road this season to begin with. If the line moves past 4 or even 2-4 in Green Bay's favor, I think I might start talking Tennessee. But at 2.5, I think Green Bay is pretty close to a lock for this week.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Tennessee. They've won 3 games out of their last 7, and those 3 wins were the Dolphins, Browns, and Jaguars. So they haven't been beating good teams, and I think Green Bay is
they can beat teams that the Steelers can't beat.
Yeah, exactly. Are you saying Green Bay too, JK? Yes, you are.
Yes, I am saying Green Bay. I like them in this matchup. Tennessee, garbage. I like the pieces. I like DeMarco Murray. I like how he's helping out Marcus Mariota. I mean, he's definitely been a godsend for them down there.
I tell you what, Rashard Matthews has stepped up a little bit in that offense too. That was a guy that was very consistent for Miami last season. He got a slow start with Tennessee, but he has been playing well recently.
It just doesn't seem like they can go down the field to me.
Yeah.
Tajay Sharp's really kind of crapped the bed this year, huh?
And that's a reason they can't go downfield very well. Rashard Matthews is in a deep threat. He's a possession receiver. Tajay Sharp was supposed to be the guy that you could get the ball downfield to, and he, like Jim said, he's crapped the bed. Easy's saying Green Bay with us. Johnny Parlay is going to go spread solo and say Tennessee covers this line.
Well, I'm happy that I'm not agreeing with Parlay, considering he's not been very good this year.
Believe it.
The Blue Rooster podcast fell apart, too. It hasn't been posted in months.
Oh, that sucks, man.
They only made it to, I think, 11 episodes, and they gave up.
You got to get on there, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I need to do. Spend more time on the internet.
Believe it. All right, let's go to your pick of the week, Jim. You have 104 wins all time. You're 17, 21, and 2 on the season, but you are 4-4 in your picks of the week, and you're 8-5 in your last 13 picks of the week, dating back to last season.
Now, Johnny Parlay always hates on me if I take an easy pick of the week, so I'm going out on a limb here and taking the San Francisco 49ers at plus 13.5 at Arizona. The Arizona Cardinals beat the Niners at Santa Clara 33-21 already this year, but in 2015, the Cardinals won 19-13 in Santa Clara, and they won 47-7 in Arizona. So if it's anything like last year, don't listen to me. The year before, though, in 2014, the Cardinals only won the football game 23-14 in Arizona, so there is some hope. I just have an odd feeling, and we talked a little bit about it early in the year about the Arizona Cardinals. I think they kind of peaked last year. I think they're going to start I don't want to say a decline because I still think they're a better team in the NFC, but I don't think they're going to be getting any better with this core of players. Carson Palmer's really reached his peak. Larry Fitzgerald's even playing good still this year, but I mean, he's getting older. These guys, last year was their window. I think it's pretty much starting to close now. I do expect them to win this football game, but I think that Colin Kaepernick somehow puts together a game this week and wreaks a little bit of havoc on that Arizona defense, and I think that they can keep it close, certainly closer than 13.5 points. That's 2 touchdowns. Not a lot of teams win by 2 touchdowns in the NFL anymore.
Well, I tell you who loses by more than 2 touchdowns on the road, and that is the San Francisco 49ers. They played at Carolina in week 2, lost 46-27. The following week, they played at the Seahawks, lost 37-18. And later on, a few weeks ago, they played at Buffalo and lost 45-16. So they're 0-3 on the road. And really, they haven't been keeping up with teams at home either. But the Arizona. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this, Dash. If you could tease it and take it to 20.5, would you take San Francisco?
Well, yeah. I mean, I might tease Arizona though, and take 6.5 Arizona.
See, every time
but I think I
you
could go either way with that.
I'd tease it to 20.5.
But look, Arizona's coming off a bye, and they're starting to get a little bit healthier with their wide receivers, mostly. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald's been banged up. Michael Floyd's been banged up. He's had a bad season, actually.
A horrible season.
Yeah, John Brown has been banged up as well. So they've had all their weapons have been banged up pretty much, and hopefully coming out of this bye, they're a little bit healthier. I know Brown and Fitzgerald's supposed to play. I'm not quite sure on what Michael Floyd's doing this week, but Carson Palmer just had one of his best games the last time out. Hopefully he can continue that. And like you said, Jim, they had a 12-point win in San Francisco. I think here in Arizona they're going to do it even bigger. And you were going spread solo on your pick of the week, man. The other 4 of us are going to say Arizona.
I like it.
All right, Johnny Parlay, he's still doing good all time. 111, 97, and 6. But this season in picks of the week, he was 0-6-1 going into last week. He finally got his first win. He is now 1-6-1 on the season in picks of the week. Let's see if he can continue doing that. He's taking Denver at New Orleans. New Orleans is the favorite at home. They're at -2, and the over-under is 49.
Parlay's loving him some Saints.
We're all going Saints except for Easy. Easy's going spread solo on Denver.
See, I feel like I might have been wrong on the Saints early in the year. Last 2 seasons, they've had a little better than okay offense. I mean, they were putting up points, but nothing like they were in their Super Bowl years. But their defense was complete garbage. I think the defense has actually stepped up to mediocre now, and I think the New Orleans Saints could surprise some teams and actually win some football games and probably even make the playoffs, quite honestly, in the NFC. I have no problem picking them at home over Denver. I think Denver's defense is really good, but I think against Oakland, we talked about it before that game. What happens if Oakland's offense gets on a roll? Can Denver's offense score enough points to win? And they showed that they cannot. Trevor Siemian is not going to win in a shootout, and Drew Brees rarely gets beat really bad at home. So he's going to be able to put up some points down there, and then Denver's got to keep up, and I don't think they can do it. I think New Orleans wins this football game, which is actually good for a Steeler fan because we need somebody to start dropping some games in the AFC.
Yeah, last week we all pretty much picked Denver to win that game in Oakland, and it didn't happen. And I actually said it's almost impossible for the Raiders to put up 30 points against this Denver defense because Denver's defense has been beast all season. They didn't let up more than 23 points at any point this season, and that was versus the Atlanta Falcons, who have one of the best offenses in the league as well. But the New Orleans Saints, they're 4-1 in their last 5 games after starting 0-3, and they just won big last week against the 49ers, Jim, 41-23. And in their last 2 home games, I mean, they went out and beat the Seahawks 25-20 and beat the Panthers 41-38. So I agree. New Orleans looks like a pretty solid team, at least at home. I think they're going to come out and win this game against Denver, who won't be able to put up the same amount of points New Orleans can. New Orleans is probably going to match what Oakland did last week, I'd have to believe. And even if they don't, if they just put up 24, 25 points, I think that's going to be too much for Denver as well.
I could actually very well see New Orleans win this game by the score of like 27-14 or something like or 27-21. I just don't see him putting up the points to compete with Brees for one thing. And then, Denver's defense, with how, as much as it's an elite defense, I mean, Oakland showed you can get past that. And I mean, I'll take Drew Brees right now still over Derek Carr, even though I like both guys.
I tell you what, though, one of my deep sleepers this week for our fantasy segment, I did take Trevor Siemian. I think he'll have a solid week.
Just have to see if they can get that run game going, too. Because, I mean, if we're not running the football, Simeon's not going to be able to do it on his own.
Yeah, and Devontae Booker, I mean, he looked good his first game, but the last time out, he really didn't do much on the ground. But, I mean, New Orleans defense can be beat on the ground. On the other side of the ball, it's hard to run against Denver, but Mark Ingram has been running, at least last week he ran very well. I know Tim Hightower looked like he was going to take his job for a minute there, but actually both of them last week looked very good on the ground. Easy spread solo with Denver. The rest of us go in New Orleans. And the last game is the big game of the week. I think it's Sunday Night Football. Seattle at New England. New England's -7.5, and the over-under is 49 in this game. Jim, you were going spread solo on this one with Seattle. Why are you saying that? Just the line's too much? Seattle's a good team?
Yeah. Seattle's not a great team, and I've kind of counted on them a little bit. They actually are the reason why I'm out of my Survivor League, which kind of made me mad. But I don't know. I think that New England, they're not going to dominate every single team that they play. I think they're still going to win this football game. But I think that the Seahawks have the recipe to be able to compete with New England. We've seen them compete with them in the Super Bowl. They were, 1 yard away from winning until Russell Wilson threw an interception like an idiot. I just think that Seattle's defense will be able to contain Brady, not stop Brady. And I think that Seattle offense is going to be able to get things going a little bit. Russell Wilson, he's got to get healthy at some point in time, you would think. And once he can start moving around, I think he'll be able to play better. And what's that new running back? They're moving
CJ Precise.
out. Yeah, I think that kid's ready to ball, and I think he's really going to help that run game. In New England, they're pretty good against the run, but I think they can be beat by the run. And it's really all about execution up front, honestly. And I think Seattle has a good offensive line as far as run blocking still. They just got to get it going.
Yeah, actually, you're talking about that offense needs to get it going. They actually did start to get it going last week. They put up 31 points against the Bills, and they did it through the air. Like you were saying, CJ Precise, they like that guy. He's actually the guy they use in the passing game more often, and I believe they're going to be passing this week, so he could be a sneaky play in fantasy as well. But yeah, they did a good job last week really turning around their offense. However, I mean, you look at New England, They've been blowing out teams since Tom Brady came back. 33-13, 35-17, 27-16, and 41-25 over the past 4 weeks. And Seattle, they're a good team, you're right, but they haven't been good on the road. They lost at the Rams 9-3. They beat the Jets at New York, big flip, 27-17. They tied the Cardinals on the road 6-6, and they lost at the Saints 25-20. So they haven't been playing that great on the road. I think New England's going to go out here and do the same thing they've been doing. Seattle's a good team, but they don't sit above the rest of the NFC like they had over the past few years or whatever, while New England sits above the rest of the AFC and really above the rest of the league. And I think they're just going to go out here. If it was on the road, I'd think it'd be a little bit different. Seattle plays a lot different at home with the 12th man, 13th man, whatever they call themselves out there.
30th man, who cares? They're idiots.
Yeah, so I think at home, New England's still going to go out there and win by double digits, really, 10 points or more.
I really was going to pick New England, but since I suck, I decided I'd take Seattle instead. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I can see this game going either which way. I mean, Seattle, they're hinging on Russell Wilson. He hasn't been that great this year. All those guys last year, Lockett, Baldwin, those guys haven't been playing as well as what you would like to see them playing.
Lockett's been banged up.
Well, you all know, too, Doug Baldwin, too. He hasn't those for the end zone. So the fact that he's not scoring touchdowns has to be concerning.
Yeah. Well, Thomas Rawls was supposed to be dominant out there. Yeah, Christian Michael quickly took his job. He's actually starting to fall off over the past couple weeks. And CJ Pro-Sice is stepping up. So we'll have to see how that backfield turns out. But Rawls is going to be healthy in a few weeks here. So I don't even know if Christian Michael's going to keep his job. I think he's been running good enough where he should be able to keep the number one role, while CJ Pro-Sice should be playing on third downs and in the passing game, especially since they cut CJ Spiller. But that's it. Seattle is a spread solo for you, Jim. The rest of us are going New England. So we got the spread majorities are Houston over Jacksonville, Green Bay over Tennessee, Arizona over San Francisco, New Orleans over Denver, and New England over Seattle. Are all of these spread solos? No, Jacksonville, 2 people picked. I think everything else is a spread solo.
The Saints safety is facing a 4-game suspension.
Darren Sharper's facing life.
Please believe. Hardest raping dude in the country, though. Dude's garbage. What a piece of crap, huh?
Believe that.
Drug like 20 women and rape them. Might as well go freaking hang out with Hillary and Bill.
Hillary stands up for women's rights. She would say that was wrong.
As she gets people off rape charges when she was a lawyer.
Well, we can't be doing politics on this, but I will say she takes money from Saudi Arabia, who give no rights to women.
Believe it.
We'll do a spread political segment some other time.
All day.
All right, wrap it up, man.
Fans, questions or comments, hit us up at bet_the_spread. Hit me up at betjimthewin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube. Always click subscribe. Tell your friends. Share the segment. Let everybody know. Spread the word.